Thank you all for joining us today for our third webinar for phase 2 of our LunaRecycle challenge. Today's webinar is really focused on your most frequently asked questions. These are the questions we get most via email. And so we are trying to answer them here today. You will absolutely also be able to ask any questions that you have of our folks that are here to help you out today. And you'll do that using the Q&A function. Next slide, please. So our agenda today, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping. We'll give you a little bit of a refresher on what the challenge is and how it works. And then we'll really dig into those most frequently asked questions from you all. These cover the topics from who's eligible to how do you register, how do you submit your solution, what are the technical requirements, and then some pro tips for teams and other supporters. Then we'll have some open Q&A. And we'll do some next steps and reminders. Next slide. So a little bit of housekeeping. You can submit your questions via the Q&A function at any time during this, and we will attempt to answer them during our live Q&A portion after we are done doing our presentations. We want to make sure you understand that all answers that we give you today are accurate and current as of today, which is December 3rd. Some answers may be outdated or have changed between today and when you watch this online later. So to get the most absolute up-to-date information, please always go to our website, lunarecyclechallenge.ua.edu, and read our FAQs. You can also find the rules there, and you can also find our past webinars there and lots of other information. We may not be able to get to all the Q&A today, just based on timing. If we are not able to, we will make sure that all of those relevant ones become FAQs and put on that lunarecyclechallenge.ua.edu website. And of course, as I just mentioned, you can find the rules, FAQs, recordings of past webinars, everything on that website. And then after that, after we are done today, if you have additional questions, please email them to lunarecycle@ua.edu to reach our team. Please note we cannot respond to any phone inquiries, inquiries to other email addresses, inquiries to our personal LinkedIn, inquiries to our LunaRecycle LinkedIn group. So please make sure you send all of your questions to lunarecycle@ua.edu. Otherwise, you will not get a response. Next slide. So we have a great group of folks here today. I'm Chris Frangione. I'm the acting challenge manager today, helping me with going over the canned questions. The ones that we already know about is Elisa Ferguson, who's our challenge lead, Savannah, who's our comm strategist, and Rajiv, who is the director of space technology and engineering research at UA. They're the ones who you submit your eligibility stuff to. We also have here, when we do the live Q&A, we have Jennifer, who is our acting program manager at Centennial Challenges. And she can answer any questions related to why this is relevant to NASA, etc. We have Josh, who is the CEO of Institute of Competition Sciences. That is the platform that you submit your information to, so he can answer any questions on the platform. And most excitingly, we have David, who is the founder and CEO of Space Factory, but also a winner of one of our past Centennial Challenges. So if you have any questions of what it's like to be a participant in a Centennial Challenge, David will be able to answer those questions for you. Next slide. So just a quick refresher on what the LunaRecycle Challenge is. It's a $3 million two-phase competition focused on turning trash into useful feedstocks and end products on places like the moon and Mars. We are currently in phase 2. This is a 13-month phase. We launched it in August and it ends in, we launched it in August of 2025 and it ends in August of 2026. We're looking for 2 types of solutions, prototypes, and then also digital twins. Now, there is a caveat that prototypes are required and digital twins are optional, but we are looking for both types of solution. And for phase 2, we have a $2 million prize purse. And as a reminder, all of your detailed rules can be found at lunarecyclechallenge.ua.edu. So a couple highlights for phase 2. I just mentioned prototype solutions are required. Digital twins are optional. Phase 2 is only open to US teams. Phase 1 was also open to international teams, though they could not receive any prize purses. They received recognition. But in this, for phase 2, it is only open to US teams. We have 2 rounds of competition in phase 2. There's a milestone round and a final round. The final round culminates in a live demonstration at a centralized location in August 2026. Specific dates to be announced. This is where you will send your technologies. They will be tested and evaluated by judges. And then we are planning to have an industry day to showcase those technologies to a broader group of stakeholders. When you're thinking about how do you design your prototype, you're not going to be able to replicate the environment and conditions of the moon or Mars on Earth, and that's okay. So all of your prototype solutions should be designed and built for Earth ambient conditions, not lunar or Martian conditions. As I mentioned, there are 2 rounds in phase 2, a milestone round and a final round. We are currently in the milestone round. That closes on January 22nd of 2026. In the milestone round, you will submit and be judged on a preliminary design of your solution. All the details are in the rules. And then from those, we will choose up to 20 finalist teams to move into the final round. In that final round, finalist teams will submit a final design and demonstrate through a prototype their hardware at a live event. And then both the design and the demonstration will be judged. So here's a quick timeline. The red circle is the major deadline that's coming up. And so, as I mentioned, we launched on August 11th, January 22nd of 2026 is when your milestone round submissions are due. Obviously, you also need to be registered by then because that's the only way you can submit. From there, that's where we're going to pick those top 20 finalists. And those up to 20 finalists are going to be the ones invited into our next round. Next slide. So if you have any eligibility questions, please check the rules. The legal requirements section of the phase 2 official rules document provides details about who is eligible and information about other legal requirements of the challenge. So please make sure you are eligible. And if you have any questions, please do reach out to that email address. Next slide. So let's now get into your most frequently asked questions. So who is eligible to compete? It's okay if you didn't compete in phase 1. So I didn't compete in phase 1 of the challenge. Can I still compete in phase 2? Yes. Phase 2 is open to everyone as long as you are eligible. You don't have to have competed in phase 1. And if you did compete in phase 1 and you were not a finalist or a winner, you are still invited to compete in phase 2. The challenge rules say that only US teams are eligible in phase 2. Why is that? That's a very good question that we get a lot. So NASA seeks to inspire the next generation of explorers through exciting and ambitious space missions that demonstrate American leadership in space. Inviting only US participation in phase 2 supports our current president's desire to most efficiently steward the allocation of American taxpayer dollars and creates ample opportunity for US innovators to have the most comprehensive experience competing in the challenge. So NASA's LunaRecycle Challenge reflects this initiative by seeking US innovators to be part of this effort through Artemis campaign goals and initiatives. So if you're not a US citizen or permanent resident, can you still compete on a US team? The answer is maybe. Foreign nationals can participate as a member of an eligible team, but they are not eligible for a cash prize and must acknowledge this by signing and submitting Exhibit B1 or B2 of the team agreement. And we have a sample of that coming up next. Exhibit B1 is for students and Exhibit B2 is for other foreign national participants. Now, however, citizens of countries under Category 2 on the NASA Export Control Program list of designated countries, which you can find at this website address, we will, by the way, when we post the webinar on the website, we will put these links with it so you have them handy. If your country is on that list, you are not eligible to compete at all. So the explanation and this link are also in the challenge rules. Can I compete? Can you compete as an individual if you meet the citizenship requirements? Absolutely. You are not required to have other team members in order to compete. Sometimes it's helpful because you divide and conquer. Sometimes you bring in other expertise, but you are more than welcome to go at it on your own. And we've had lots of people in the past do that. Now I'm going to pass this off to Rajiv with the University of Alabama. They are our allied organization. They are managing registrations and submissions, and so he will answer some questions here.
All right, Chris, thanks. Hello, everybody. We're going to talk about how we register and the process and what we need to go through. So, one of the first questions we often get is, hey, I go ahead and created my team at the Institute of Competition Sciences platform. Does that mean I'm registered? The answer is not quite. In order to register, not only do you have to fill out the things on the Institute of Competition Sciences platform, but you also have to complete, and please read it carefully and make sure that all the required signatures are included in the team agreement. Upload that, and then we also need your proof of citizenship and either proof of insurance or financial responsibility. So all those things are required for you to register. If you want to find, you can find the team agreement template and a link to to upload everything on the resources page of the challenge website, which is lunarecyclechallenge.ua.edu, and you can go to the resources tab and find all the relevant things you need to fill out the team agreement. Okay, says I'm confused. This often happens because it is a long agreement. So I'm confused about the team agreement. What do I need to do to fill that out? So we've had this question so many times. There's actually a short tutorial video. Again, it's on the resources page of our website. If you still have questions after watching the video, please reach out to us, like Chris mentioned previously, at this specific email address. If you use other email addresses or try to email us directly, we will not be able to respond. So please reach out to us at lunarecycle.ua.edu. Okay, insurance is another question that we get quite often. This is, why do I need insurance? Do you offer waivers for the insurance requirements? The insurance requirement is a U.S. government requirement, and the U.S. government requires all individuals and entities that want to be in challenges of this type to have adequate insurance coverage. Because it's a U.S. government requirement, we are not allowed to waive it. Again, once you have insurance or proof of financial responsibility, you want to know what documents can you use to meet that insurance requirement. For the milestone round, all the teams are required to obtain either insurance or demonstrate financial responsibility in the amount of $5,000. You can submit a copy or screenshot of the insurance policy declarations or a statement or screenshot from your financial institution of that account balance. Make sure that it lines up with your either team name or team lead name so we can make sure everything is correct, and make sure that the amount should be at least $5,000. So this shows you where you need to submit your insurance documents. Again, you can go to the website and then go to the resources page, and there's a link there to say proof of citizenship and insurance and financial responsibility. Click through that, and you can walk through what you need to do. Okay, this is a big question. How will I know if I'm eligible? So once you've submitted the team agreement, it's completed and signed in the right places and submitted your proof of citizenship and insurance, UA will spend some time reviewing all the documentation. What you will receive back is an executed team agreement signed by UA when your eligibility is verified. You will be eligible when you get that team agreement returned to you, signed by the university. I think that is last one more try. Are there ways to find and join a team? What if we're looking for additional team members? I think this is a very good question. We really want to expand the pool of people participating in this. So we have set up a LinkedIn community. Again, this link will be on the website. It's probably already there right now. And it'll be also when we post the webinar, but there's a LunaRecycle recruiting board. You can go there and put up a message to see if there's teams that are looking for people, or if you want to recruit people to join your team. The website's right there. And I think now we're going to hand it over to Elisa to talk about submission of their solutions.
Thanks, Rajiv. So let's talk a little bit about submissions and some of the questions we've received about that. So this is one that happens quite a bit. Someone may have emailed their proposal, their submission, their solution to that University of Alabama email address, and they're like, "Here's my solution. Is there anything else I need to do?" Well, we don't actually we don't actually accept any submissions by email. Um, and these are not going to be reviewed. What you need to do is go to the Institute of Competition Sciences platform, create your team, upload your team agreement, upload your other proof of citizenship and insurance documents, and then you will have access to the submission portion of the platform, and that's where you need to upload your submission. So here's a little screenshot of it here. Once you create your team, you'll be able to see this menu with a number of different resources, and you'll click on that rounds and submission section, and that's where you submit your solution. We've also created tutorial videos of how to navigate the platform to submit, and you can access those on the resources page of the challenge website. So, what format should you use for your submission? The answer is that everyone should use the submission templates. Again, you can find these on the resources page of the challenge website. You'll hear us refer to that page a lot. It's where we put everything that you need to compete. And we update it quite frequently. So feel free to take a look there for anything that you're looking for. There's a template for both the prototype solution and if you choose to also submit a digital twin solution, there is also a template for that as well. And you should follow and use those templates in order to prepare your solution. So here's a screenshot where you can find it on the resources page under the registration submissions headings. You can see both of those templates here. Okay, so the templates are quite comprehensive and detailed, and sometimes people have questions about how to fill them out and how to answer the questions. And so with that in mind, we've actually created a tutorial video for each of the templates, walking through the template itself, walking through each of the questions, in some cases giving a little bit of background on what we're looking for, and providing some guidance about how to fill out the template. So again, you can see those on the resources page of the challenge website. You can see the links here. We have video walkthroughs of the prototype template, the digital twin template, as well as the preliminary demonstration proposal template. I think we'll talk about that in another question soon. You can access all of those on the resources page and take a look at those videos. If you still have questions, you can always email us with those questions. Okay, here we go. What is the preliminary demonstration proposal and why do I need to submit it? So the answer is coming to the screen soon. Here we go. So this is really a document that's going to help NASA and us, the challenge administrators, plan for that final round demonstration. So this proposal is for informational purposes only. It's not going to be judged or scored. And we understand that at this point in time, some of the answers may be preliminary, so that's completely fine. Teams that are invited to compete in the final round will have an opportunity to update their proposal later in the competition. Okay, this is a good one. We've gotten some questions about AI, and when you go in to do your submission, you'll see that there is a required disclosure about AI on the submission form. And some folks may be worried, is this going to count against me if I'm using AI? The answer is no. Teams are allowed to use both traditional and generative AI in their solutions and in their submissions. And it says that in the challenge rules. So you should see that there as well. We do, however, encourage teams that are using any AI-generated text or graphics to review those very closely to ensure accuracy, credibility, and alignment with high technical standards. Okay, so let's go into a few questions about some of the technical requirements. So this is a good one. Are we allowed to use commercial off-the-shelf equipment in our prototype? And the answer is yes. But keep in mind that the challenge seeks solutions that demonstrate innovative approaches to recycling. There's no specific restrictions on the use of commercial off-the-shelf technologies. But as if you look at the judging criteria, you'll see that innovation is one of our judging criteria that teams will be scored on. So keep that in mind if you're using commercial off-the-shelf components or equipment. Okay, this is a good one and something that we've actually just updated this week. So one of our potential teams reached out and noted to us that in the challenge rules, in our table that lists the eligible trash items, there were two links for commercially available equivalents that were broken. And so we've been working on fixing those. And right now, we have updated the link for the Zotec foam. You'll see that in the challenge rules, the version that is on the challenge website now. Got a December 2nd date. So that's the version of the rules that's currently on the challenge website, and it has been updated for Zotec. There is a new link. We are still working on an alternative link for the rehydratable pouch, and that will be coming as soon as possible. So you can see here, this is just a picture of the updated rules, and you'll see that the two items at the bottom, rehydratable pouch, it just notes that the original link is no longer available, but we will be updating it. And then the Zotec F30 link has been updated. Okay, so for anyone who competed in phase one, there may be folks who submitted only a digital twin. In phase one, we had separate tracks for prototypes and digital twins, and people may want to know, can I do that again in phase two? But in phase two, a prototype is required and a digital twin is optional. So unfortunately, teams cannot submit only a digital twin without a prototype in phase two. Okay, this is one we get a lot of questions about. What's the level of fidelity that we expect for the digital twin? And the answer really is that this is a competition. So we're really encouraging you to submit a digital twin that is at the highest fidelity possible in terms of what you can design and develop. So you should include as much data and detail necessary to mimic your prototype and fully address all of the challenge requirements. And if you watch that tutorial video about your digital twin submission, you'll see some additional guidance and insight on that as well. So this is a related question. A lot of folks ask if there's specific software we should use for the digital twin, and the answer is we do not have any specific recommendations for software or other digital tools, and you can use whatever software or other tools that you'd like to use. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Savannah for some pro tips.
Thank you, Elisa. Hello, everybody. Best of luck as you are starting to develop those prototypes and compete in our challenge. So, here are some pro tips for teams and other supporters as they embark on phase two of this challenge. The first question is, can I collaborate with NASA or the University of Alabama on my solution? And the answer to this, unfortunately, is no. This challenge is a competition, and to ensure fairness for all teams, neither NASA nor UA can collaborate with any teams. There's a conflict of interest there that we want to make sure that we are being respectful of. Next up, will I receive feedback if my solution is not chosen as a winner? Now, unfortunately, due to the volume of submissions and to ensure fairness among all our teams, we cannot offer feedback for individual competitors on their submissions. We wish we could, but that would simply take way too much time. And we want to make sure that we're continuing to progress this challenge with our finalists. So, unfortunately, we cannot provide any feedback on solutions. So if you're under 18 and you can't compete, there are ways that you can get involved with NASA. We partnered with the National Institute of Aerospace to help collaborate and create LunaSustain, which is a K-12 initiative connected to the LunaRecycle Challenge. You can find that at lunasustain.nianet.org. You can see that link here. We'll also have it in our links list once we publish this on our website. In addition, you can also find more resources and programs that are appropriate for any age at nasa.gov/learning-resources. We've got different things there for any age from kindergarten to 99, 100 years old. So find whatever works for you. And we just appreciate you wanting to get involved with NASA in some way. With that, that was pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Chris so we can get into some more Q&A.
So we only have a couple questions in there, so please, please, please do submit questions. We don't have any canned questions since we just covered all the canned ones. So if you could please submit questions right now, we'll wait a couple moments for that. We do have a wonderful question here. Somebody asked if a technology can derive from a can a technology derive from a technology developed under a NASA SBIR contract be submitted to the LunaRecycle Challenge if there is some significant differentiator, e.g. uses a different waste stream than originally intended, perhaps using plastic bags or gloves instead of packing foam as the waste material to be recycled? Fantastic question. We're going to have to come back to you on that one. We need to check with our legal team on the nuances. There are some restrictions in the rules. We don't know if this fits in with that or not, so we will check with our legal team. If you don't, we will make this into an FAQ on our website, but if the folks who asked that question are willing to also email it to the LunaRecycle email address, then we can make sure we respond directly to you as soon as we get the answer completed. That would be super helpful. And that is the only question we have in there. So we do have on here a past participant. So if anybody has any questions for a past participant, how do you get your funding? How do you convince your bosses to let you do it? Whatever it may be, David is an excellent resource. If you have any questions about how this relates to NASA and why is this relevant, Jennifer is an excellent resource. If you've been on the platform and you're confused, which I know you're not, because the platform is fantastic, Josh is here to answer those questions. So question just came in. Are you allowed to get investment for a submission as in venture capitalists or angel investors? Yes. How you choose to fund your submission on your own is up to you. The only limitations, again, what we're going to get back to is if there was NASA money involved or if you have partnered or have people on your team that are sort of on a restricted list, whether they be NASA employees or University of Alabama employees. But how you choose to fund it, you can self-fund it, you can go out and get investments, you can crowdfund it. We've seen teams go out to crowdfunding platforms to crowdfund them. You are allowed to get however you choose to fund it. You are more than welcome to. Any other questions? David, do you want to just go over very briefly what it's like to be a participant and how you guys funded it and how you guys did it in the past? That might be helpful to some folks.
Yeah, certainly. And if anyone is on the fence about whether or not to participate, I strongly encourage that you do. It's not easy. I've been in your boat. If you're a small company or you're not even a company, you might just be a team of individuals. There's going to be financial constraints. It is a big investment, especially when it involves physical prototyping, but it's not insurmountable. And as a company, we came up with many creative ways, leveraging relationships with universities, for example, could be a great start. local maker spaces, would be a great resource as well, just to give you the tooling to be able to build some of these prototypes. We found that, because it is a worthwhile technology challenge, because of the potential publicity, these your partners could receive, doing simple things like putting their logo, on your prototype can go a long way and can get you some good support. So as a company, we did have some resources of our own going into it, but we certainly couldn't have completed the challenge without the help of, in our case, it was Autodesk and Virginia Tech. So being able to, tap into industry, into academia, these are resources that might be available to you at no cost if you pitch it the right way. So just don't let, resource constraints be your limiter to participate, because I think if you really want to do this, you will be able to find people around to help.
And I'll just add there, we purposely do milestone rounds. And we purposely do milestone rounds to keep the barrier of entry pretty low at the beginning. Yes, you're going to have to build a prototype if you're one of those top 20 that are invited to participate. But you do get some funding. You do get a prize purse at the milestone round. And just as importantly, you are able to then go out to folks and say, hey, look, I made it from X number to the top 20. You know, these judges and evaluators thought my idea was legit. Here's all my data. Can you please help fund me to get there? So there is a design reason for putting milestones in. Not only do you get a little bit of a prize purse that could help you fund it, though you can do whatever you want with that money, but also it gives you the opportunity to showcase that these evaluators think that your idea has promise. We have a question that when somebody signed up for the challenge, they submitted their project and want to know how they can view it. Josh, do you want to talk to a little bit how they go back into the system and see it? Now, this is assuming
Yeah,
this was submitted to the ICS platform, because if it was submitted via email or anything else, we would not have any access to that. It has to go to the ICS platform. Go ahead, Josh.
yeah, absolutely, Chris. And the simple answer is that the same way you submitted it, you can view it. So if you go back to the same place where you clicked into your team on the platform dashboard, and you go to your rounds and submissions tab, where you submitted the information, if you just click to edit, that same edit button, you'll see exactly what you submitted. So you can always go back there and look at whatever was submitted in the platform. And I believe that we do allow that to be updated, until, of course, the submission deadline. So if you did need to, change any information, that's where you would go back and do the same thing.
Again, with the caveat that we're assuming this was submitted to the ICS platform. If it was submitted anywhere else via email to one of us, we will have no access to that, and we cannot take it into consideration. We can only take things into consideration that are submitted on that platform. We have a question based on past efforts. What is the % likelihood of being shortlisted? Tricky question. Depends on a lot of factors. So we have experts that are our evaluators. So it really depends on the quality of your submission. We do not score them and just pick the top 20. They have to meet a minimum threshold. So first you have to meet a minimum threshold, and then you have to be in the top most part, or the top 20 of above that minimum threshold. It also depends on, frankly, like how many people submit and what are the different quality of stuff that the evaluators are seeing. But it is not like in a university, some colleges and universities that give A's to the top 10%. We don't do that. You have to meet a threshold, and then it's the top scores above the threshold. So it's a hard question to answer. Does anybody else want to add anything to that? No? Great. Any other questions? Other questions? Rajiv, do you want to give a quick highlight on the LinkedIn community?
Sure. Thanks, Chris. I think the LinkedIn community is something that that was successful in round one. We had we had team members, as I read through the chats and stuff, we had team members linking up with each other. It is a good spot for you to go ahead and start that recruiting. It is not the only solution, like David talked about. You can reach out to folks in your community, other folks you have in your own personal network that have the types of expertise you need. But it is a good place to at least get started. And again, as you start recruiting team members, please look through the challenge, understand the rules, and figure out the roles and things you're looking for people. Just saying I want a team member probably won't get you a lot of success. But if you want to say I need a team member who has expertise in such and such an area who would like to participate in this NASA challenge, I think would get a lot more traction for that. So we're really happy that it's set up and people are accessing it. But please take advantage of it. And again, also look out through your community and your contacts and other people. Reach out to even high school teams that are doing things like robotics and STEM clubs and those kinds of things. You'd be surprised at some of the ideas they come up with and some of the things that they can help you with.
Great. Thank you. If there's no other questions, we'll go to next steps. Savannah, do you mind pulling it up again? Thank you. And feel free to keep throwing questions in there. But in terms of next steps and reminders, you can learn more at our website, lunarecyclechallenge.ua.edu. Create your team on the ICS platform. That's lunarecycle.competitionsciences.org. Complete that team agreement. You can download that at lunarecyclechallenge.ua.edu. You are not registered for the challenge unless you have a completed team agreement that has been executed with UA, and that does include eligibility and insurance requirements. The most important thing is the deadline to register and submit is January 22nd. That is about a month and a half away, or a little less than a month and a half away. That deadline is 4:00 p.m. Eastern time, New York City time. We cannot accept anything that comes in after that. So please constantly have that date in your head so that you are not missing it because you just lost track of it or whatever. And then if you have any questions, and I do ask that those folks who asked a good SBIR question, please make sure you send them to lunarecycle@ua.edu so that we are officially able to answer them and turn some into FAQs. Perfect. So that is it for today. Thank you all. We really appreciate your time, and we really do hope to see you submitting your ideas and being part of this challenge.
Chris, it looks like we've got a couple of more questions.
Oh. Are there any restrictions to join the LinkedIn group? I sent a request and now I'm waiting to join. No, Rajiv just has to go and approve the request.
Go and approve you.
That is that simple. We have one that says, for this challenge, which is not a research proposal, do we set up a transmission and notify the RA team of our college? I am unsure of what those are. Maybe somebody else here knows, but we don't do any, you're not doing this, unless you're doing this through your university. We don't have any, we don't know what you need to do on your end. That is something you probably should talk to with your university, but we don't require that because we don't see you as associated with that university unless it's coming in as a university team. Does that sound right to everybody else?
Yeah, Chris, we have in the past, each university follows its own process. And if they are representing a university or a student team that's part of a university, they need to work through their advisor and then through their agreements office or whatever the equivalent is at their university. What they'll need to do is show the team agreement, and then their advisor can help them figure out the right path to get approval through their university chain.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, and Rajiv is at the University of Alabama, so please use his answer because that was a fantastic answer. Great. I think that's it. I don't see anything else in there. With that, we'll let you guys have your time back, but we hope to see that traffic on the website. We hope to see you registering your teams. We hope to see you submitting. Thank you all for your time.